Steve was a seasoned Minecraft player. He had spent countless hours building, exploring, and surviving in the blocky world of Minecraft. But he had never experienced anything like what he was about to face. One day, while out on a mining expedition, Steve stumbled upon an abandoned mine. It was dark and foreboding, with strange markings etched into the walls. But Steve was curious and ventured in, hoping to find valuable resources. As he delved deeper into the mine, he began to feel a sense of unease. The air grew colder, and strange whispers seemed to echo through the tunnels. Steve tried to shake off the feeling and pressed on, determined to uncover whatever secrets the mine held. But as he turned a corner, Steve was met with a horrifying sight. A figure, dark and twisted, was standing before him, its eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. Steve froze in terror as the figure began to speak, its voice cold and raspy. It spoke of an ancient curse, of a darkness that had been unleashed upon the world of Minecraft. It warned Steve that he was in grave danger and urged him to leave the mine at once. But Steve was unable to move. He was paralyzed with fear, unable to comprehend what was happening to him. The figure disappeared into the shadows, and Steve was left alone in the dark, his heart pounding in his chest. As he made his way back to the surface, Steve noticed that something was different. The world of Minecraft had changed. The colors were duller, the skies were darker, and the monsters seemed to be more aggressive. Steve soon realized that he was not alone. The figure from the mine was still out there, watching him, waiting for the right moment to strike. Steve tried to escape, building shelters and hiding from the monsters that roamed the world. But no matter where he went, the figure was always there, lurking in the shadows, watching and waiting. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. Steve was slowly losing his mind, the weight of the curse bearing down on him. He knew that he had to find a way to break the curse, to rid the world of the darkness that had engulfed it. And so, with a heavy heart and a determined spirit, Steve set out on a perilous quest. He traveled to the darkest corners of the world, braving dangers and facing horrors beyond his wildest nightmares. But in the end, Steve emerged victorious. He broke the curse, banishing the darkness and restoring the world of Minecraft to its former glory. Steve returned to his normal life, but he could never forget the horrors he had faced. The world of Minecraft would never be the same, and neither would he. As Steve thought he had broken the curse and restored Minecraft to its former glory, reality started to warp around him. The colors of the world began to fade away into shades of gray, and the monsters that once roamed the land started to twist and morph into grotesque forms. It was then that Steve realized the truth: he had never broken the curse. He had gone completely insane. In his madness, Steve had been wandering the lands of Minecraft, lost in a never-ending cycle of fear and horror. He had been chewing on his own flesh, imagining the world around him to be something that it wasn't. As the realization hit him, Steve's mind snapped. He screamed in terror and ran blindly through the landscape, pursued by the twisted monsters that now filled his world. Days turned into weeks, and Steve's madness only grew worse. He built crude shelters, trying to escape the monsters that haunted him, but they always found him. Eventually, Steve was found by another player, who stumbled upon his crude shelter in the middle of nowhere. The player was horrified by what they saw: Steve, huddled in a corner, covered in blood and chunks of flesh. They tried to help him, but it was too late. Steve had gone too far down the path of madness to ever return. He attacked the player, mistaking them for one of the monsters that tormented him. The player was forced to defend themselves, ultimately killing Steve in self-defense. As they looked down at Steve's lifeless body, they couldn't help but wonder what had driven him to such madness. And so, the legend of Steve, the Minecraft player who went mad and wandered the lands, chewing on his own flesh, continued to haunt the players of Minecraft. It was a reminder that even in a world of blocks and pixels, madness and horror could still lurk in the shadows, waiting to take hold of those who dared to venture too far into the unknown.